That was so funny. It's like a dance
It's funny
between two people.
watching both of them. All right, what's going on, everybody? Kevin here. Uh, so the whole idea is I have no idea what I'm going to say. Um, I just know that for the most part, everything up until this point in our studio, going live and trying to figure out social media has just been spaghetti at the wall type of a thing. And so this is going to be really no different. Um, we've got, we do a lot of things around here. Every artist is doing a lot of things. Everybody's busy. Everyone's working. And, but for us, the story is the really important thing here. Because unless you can bring someone with you into your journey, then it's just a matter of you going through the motions, going through the tasks, and trying to make something happen. And so that's where we have been for the longest time. Is just daily tasking, but. But we've been trying to figure out some goals. We've been trying to figure out our. I don't know what to do with that. Anyways, business is going. So we are trying to figure out how to bring the story into what we're already doing. We're making videos, we're making shorts, reels, we're going live, we're throwing pots, we're sharing work as it comes out and as it goes into our website. But we're still lacking that critical story element. And we don't know how to. We don't even know the story, right? Like, we don't even know where the story is going, because we just, we walk into work every day and we try to figure out what we're going to do. Every day we wake up and we start making a list of our tasks that we know we need to get done to move forward, but maybe not with the certainty of this is where we're going to be or end up. So we just, we decided to come here and go live with the intention of rambling out some sort of update, some sort of this is where we're at. This is our process. These are the things we're struggling with. These are the things we're working on. And to be a place where anyone that wants to can come and share in this with us. And I think that is going to be, I think this is going to be the place for that. We're looking for a place where people can make an exchange with us, talk to us, hear what we're doing, why we're doing it, and be able to say offer input and say, this is, an idea that we had, maybe that could work for y'all. And just have a place where we can dialogue. Because I think the dialogue is a very essential part of any business, is to be available for your customers. And since we're here on YouTube and some other social media sites, having a place where we can stop and sit down and say, you can find me here, you can come and talk to me here. I think that's fairly essential. Now, since we don't know how that's going to look and how that's going to work, since we don't know really how to communicate fully. I know that I can talk to a camera and I know that it goes live, and so that's very one way. but but how do you communicate if you are, looking out the front door of a store and you had a group of people there, anywhere from a handful to a mob? How do you, hear as many people as possible? And that's essentially what we see these live streams doing. And so we just figured that this would be a good place to start, and at least we could start learning how to share our story and what we're doing, and then use this thread as a place to communicate with the most amount of people possible. And that way, as popular questions come in and more people want to respond and interact, then, hopefully those more popular questions will be upvoted and moved up, and then we can, begin there. But I don't know. I tend to overthink. So you can tell that I'm certainly referring to future events as if, we're going to have a mob of people standing at our door trying to ask us questions when, right now that's clearly not the case. But learning how to communicate is very important, especially in social media. Being real and present is important in any business. And so in this journey of ours, we're moving through this. We're learning how to share, learning how to post. We're learning how to use the tools. We really appreciate everyone who's kind of given us the grace to do that in this space. And we plan to keep on doing that. So anyways, with that, like I said, I don't know. I felt like that was where I wanted to go with this. I could start doing an update and just kind of share where we're at in our process, but I can't say my head is in that place. Right now, we're really, Leela and I are, we're at a place where we need to move forward in the studio, but it's been really hard to capture that process because up until this point, we've just been making on the potter's wheel, and we set up the cameras. It's very stationary, and so it's very easy to get, to get a live going on a regular basis and to produce work, throwing and trimming. But now we have a lot of work amassed over the last couple of years. The last, 4 months we've been throwing live, but we haven't made anything over the last year or so since we've been working on the social media. But now this room next to me is where I do all my glaze work. And so I've got my chemicals, I've got my glazes, my cleanup area. We have the kiln outside. And so how to bring this environment in there has been very difficult. But then also, I haven't shared any glazing in terms of mixing, picking glazes, that process, as well as glazing the work and, kiln loading and all that. So that's the stage that we have been at, and it's just been kind of sitting there like a barrier that we have to get through, confront. And we've been using the social media, building this campaign and building this social media presence. That's been kind of our forefront over the last couple of years. And so anyways, yeah, that right there in a nutshell is where we're at and what we're trying to break through. And how we do that, we don't know. But we just take it a day at a time. Right now, I've got the room cleaned out over there. I've got all the chemicals ordered that I could need for the glazes that that I should be making. So right now, our biggest jump is to make glazes. That for me is a pretty intensive task. If you're familiar with artists and potters, they usually will make 3 or 4 glazes or a handful of glazes. Sometimes there's potters that only use one glaze, and they'll just make a trash can full of it. And but the smaller the batch, the more the work. And so I typically make small batches within 1,000 grams. And I will make anywhere from 30 to 40 plus glaze recipes, so that my palette, when I glaze for any body of work, is really large. And so mixing glazes and glazing becomes a very complex task. And I also record every bit of my process for learning and growth. And so that right there also adds to the complexity. So not to try to share off how difficult work is. I'm sure everyone has difficult jobs, but for me, it's a job that I do that I don't. It's not the most enjoyable part of this process. Obviously, throwing and trimming, unloading kilns, that's all really fun stuff. But there's a lot of jobs in this that aren't so pleasant. So anyways, I don't know. I think that this is going to be a good run for now. I just wanted to say hi and to make it known that this space right here, us talking at the table, I hope to make it a daily thing, like an update. It's not so much to ramble, but it's just to give myself enough space to talk through my ideas publicly with you, because I know that there's people out there that are asking me questions about what I'm doing and what's going on and where I'm at in my process. And I just want to be able to share that in a place where I maximize my time and efficiency. And then when people respond, we can all be on the same page. Anyone that wishes to be in on this. So anyways, this is going to be it. I'm going to make this my public forum to talk about the art process, what I'm going through, where the studio's at, when work is coming in and out, announcements. And then I'll probably put it on this channel, put it into a folder or a playlist where it can be chronologically kept up. And then we can, cut out timelines and clips of important information that we need to maybe get more broadcast on. So anyways, Leela ditched me. She had, we had something come up on the phone, and so she had to bail. So I'm going to swing around the computer here and shut this down. Thank you all for stopping in. Thank you for hanging out. And if you are already familiar with me and my work and you want to throw a shout out and say, hey, I would love to be in this space with you and be on board with what's going on, give me a shout out so that we know, and we'll keep you in mind as we talk. That way we know we're not alone in this. Anyways, thank y'all so much. Peace out. Leela gives her love, and take care.